All U.S. citizens ordered to leave Afghanistan immediately. The U.S. Embassy urges U.S. citizens to leave Afghanistan immediately using available commercial flight options. U.S. Embassy issues a security alert shortly after the Taliban claimed to have captured Kandahar, Afghanistan's second-largest city. Without U.S. support, Afghanistan's military has quickly wilted in the face of the Taliban threat. U.S. Embassy in Kabul reported that surrendering Afghan troops have been executed by Taliban. U.S. intelligence officials predict that the Taliban will control Kabul sometime within the next several weeks to 6 months. U.S. Embassy in Kabul has urged all U.S. citizens to leave Afghanistan immediately, using all available commercial flight options, offering to loan cash to Americans unable to afford plane tickets home if necessary. All U.S. citizens ordered to leave Afghanistan immediately. The U.S. Embassy urges U.S. citizens to leave Afghanistan immediately using available commercial flight options, read a security alert from the embassy on Thursday. The embassy offered assistance with immigrant visas for foreign family members. The security alert went shortly after the Taliban claimed to have captured Kandahar, Afghanistan's second-largest city. Earlier, they claimed victory in the city of Ghazni, 150 kilometers 95 miles from the capital. Ghazni is the 10th Afghan provincial capital to fall to the Taliban since the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan began in May. The pullout is expected to be complete by the end of August, and U.S. intelligence officials predict that the Taliban will control the capital sometime within the next several weeks to 6 months. Several hundred U.S. troops remain stationed in Kabul, at the embassy and at the city's airport. However, embassy employees who can perform their work remotely were already advised in April to leave, with the State Department citing increasing violence and threat reports. Without U.S. support, Afghanistan's military has quickly wilted in the face of the Taliban threat. Troops stationed near the country's frontiers have been driven across Afghanistan's borders and into neighboring countries, and earlier on Thursday the U.S. Embassy in Kabul reported that surrendering Afghan troops have been executed and their military and civilian leaders unlawfully detained by Taliban forces. The embassy described executions as deeply disturbing, adding that they could constitute war crimes. Though U.S.-mediated peace talks are currently underway in Qatar, a spokesman for President Ashraf Ghani said on Monday that the group is only interested in trying to grab power by force, while Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid said on Wednesday that the group has never yielded to any foreign pressure tactics before and we do not plan to capitulate any time soon either. Security alert, U.S. Embassy Kabul, Afghanistan. The U.S. Embassy urges U.S. citizens to leave Afghanistan immediately using available commercial flight options. If you cannot afford to purchase an airline ticket at this time, please contact the U.S. Embassy at Kabul ACS@state.gov for information regarding a repatriation loan. If you are a U.S. citizen and delaying your departure while you await an immigrant visa for a spouse or minor child, please contact us immediately. Given the security conditions and reduced staffing, the embassy's ability to assist U.S. citizens in Afghanistan is extremely limited even within Kabul. Please review what the Department of State can and can't do in a crisis. The U.S. Embassy reminds U.S. citizens that on April 27, 2021, the Department of State ordered the departure from U.S. Embassy Kabul of U.S. government employees whose functions can be performed elsewhere due to increasing violence and threat reports in Kabul. The travel advisory for Afghanistan remains Level 4 Do Not Travel due to crime, terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, armed conflict, and COVID-19. Domestic flights and ground transportation routes outside of Kabul are severely limited and subject to cancellation or closure. U.S. citizens should enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program (STEP) to receive security updates and ensure the embassy can contact you in an emergency. In the event of a future official evacuation flight, the embassy would notify U.S. citizens enrolled in STEP of available assistance. However, the embassy reiterates that U.S. citizens should leave Afghanistan as soon as possible using available commercial transportation and not plan to rely on U.S. government flights. Information about current travel restrictions worldwide can be found on the International Air Transport Association website. Actions to take. Consider leaving Afghanistan via the earliest available commercial transportation. Develop a plan of action that does not rely on U.S. government assistance. Understand what the Department of State can and can't do in a crisis. Enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program (STEP) to receive security updates and ensure you can be located in an emergency. If your U.S. passport expired on or before December 31, 2019, please see our website for information on how to renew your passport before traveling.